Module 9, Leadership in Policy, Advocacy, and Institutional Change. Module Overview. Social enterprises are not only problem solvers at the grassroots, but also influencers of the policies, systems, and institutional frameworks that either enable or hinder sustainable social impact. Module 9 dives deeply into how social enterprise leaders move beyond running their organizations to actively influencing and shaping the ecosystem within which they operate. This module equips leaders with the knowledge, tools, and strategies needed to engage in policy advocacy, systemic transformation, and institutional change, ensuring that their work has lasting, scalable, and structural impact. 1. The relationship between social enterprises and public policy. Social enterprises operate at the intersection of business, government, and civil society. Policies related to taxation, regulation, licensing, grants, procurement, and labor laws often determine their sustainability and reach. Leaders of social enterprises must therefore understand how governmental institutions function, how laws are formulated, and how advocacy can shift these laws toward creating enabling environments for social innovation. Example: a social enterprise focused on renewable energy might lobby for tax incentives for solar equipment importation or for off-grid energy projects to receive government support. 2. Policy advocacy as a leadership function. Advocacy is leadership in action. It involves articulating the voice of marginalized communities, engaging stakeholders, and amplifying social concerns until they are embedded into the political and institutional agenda. Leadership in advocacy requires skills such as persuasive communication, coalition building, negotiation, lobbying, and public campaign management. Effective leaders frame issues in a way that makes policymakers, donors, and the general public view them as urgent and solvable. 3. Institutional change and systems. Thinking. Institutional change refers to reshaping rules, norms, structures, and governance systems that sustain inequality or inefficiency. Social enterprise leaders must think beyond solving immediate issues to addressing root causes. Systems thinking allows leaders to map out the interdependencies between education, health, economy, culture, and governance, identifying the leverage points for intervention. Example: instead of only providing microloans to women, leaders may advocate for banking reforms that eliminate gender-based collateral restrictions, creating systemic access to finance. 4. Tools and strategies for policy advocacy. Research and evidence generation, using data, case studies, and success stories to demonstrate why a policy should change. Coalition and alliance building, partnering with NGOs, private businesses, grassroots movements, and international organizations to amplify influence. Direct lobbying, meeting policymakers, attending parliamentary hearings, and submitting position papers. Public campaigns, mobilizing media, social networks, and grassroots communities to build pressure on decision makers. Strategic litigation, using the legal system to challenge unjust policies. Policy entrepreneurship, leaders identifying opportunities within legislative or political cycles to push reforms forward. 5. Leadership qualities in advocacy and institutional change. Visionary thinking, seeing beyond organizational success towards systemic transformation. Courage and persistence. Advocacy often means confronting entrenched power structures and vested interests. Credibility and legitimacy. Leaders must build trust by demonstrating integrity, accountability, and alignment with community needs. Adaptability, understanding the changing political landscape and seizing the right opportunities. Diplomacy, balancing confrontation with collaboration when dealing with policymakers. 6. Challenges in policy advocacy and institutional change. Political resistance. Governments may resist reforms that threaten existing power or financial interests. Resource limitations. Advocacy requires funding, expertise, and time, which may be scarce for social enterprises. Bureaucratic complexity. Navigating government systems can be slow and frustrating. Risk of co-optation. Leaders must avoid being absorbed into political interests that compromise their mission. Public awareness gaps. If the public does not understand or support an issue, advocacy efforts may lack momentum.